Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda McKay, and I'm very excited to be joining you this evening to share a little bit more about Oakland Ace Early College and our amazing cohort of students who are joining us for this fall 2024. I'm already so excited to meet you and start working with you over the next 3 years. It's been really great to talk with you and your families and read your entrance essays. And I think we're going to have a really great experience with this cohort. Tonight's presentation is about 45 minutes in length, no more. And I'm going to make sure that I try and answer some questions in particular about scheduling. And I'm sharing my screen here. And hopefully you'll be able to see that in the recording. So for tonight, we're talking about the fall schedule, your 11th grade fall schedule where you're balancing high school and college. It's going to be amazing. I know that there are questions out there because this is a unique concept. So we're going to make sure that we answer some of the most frequently asked questions at this time and that you feel confident with those answers. We're going to do some housekeeping with having you join our communication tools, take a couple of surveys, and then sign some of our required paperwork. I just wanted to celebrate a little bit. The cohort that most recently finished, our 2024 cohort, maintains a great GPA of 3.3, and you can see those cohorts that are coming up right behind them. And then there's you, our incoming cohort of 11th grade students. Super excited to work with you and make this a great experience over the 3 years. So over the course of our 3 years, we are going to not only take a look at some awesome stats for your 3 years, also the percent attending a four-year college, remaining at OCC, going on to different pathways, earning that MEMCA certification, and seminar attendance. We have a great diversity in the districts that are represented in Oakland County, and this will continue to grow some throughout the summer as districts add different enrollees. But I just wanted to show you right now where all of our different students are coming from, and super excited for this group because already over 70 of you have your OCC fall schedules chosen. So well done, keep up the great work. Already a very impressive group. So for this next part, I do have to shrink the screen a little bit just to show you some things that I've been asked the last couple of weeks. And I know that this can definitely be a confusing concept. So I wanted to just kind of demonstrate what your fall schedule is going to look like as an 11th grader. You're going to have your high school classes from 7:30 to 10:30 in general. You'll have these 3 classes. And sometimes some of our school districts, because you have a different schedule, I'm thinking of Bloomfield or Lake Orion who have different block schedules, or maybe Ferndale and Southfield who have kind of an extra class in there. You might be at school for a little bit longer and you might have a 4th class because your school requires that. You might ask your school if they will let you take a 4th class and remain there for longer. Sometimes that happens in cases where a student really wants to remain in a choir or a band or an upper level world language. That is totally up to your school. It's worth asking, but just keep in mind they may say no. What they are required and what they agree to is 3 hours at the high school and then 2 classes, I'm sorry, at OCC and a weekly seminar with Miss DeYoung, our seminar teacher. So seminar is once a week. And later on in the presentation, I'll talk to you about how you're going to choose your seminar. So one day per week, you're going to go to seminar for 90 minutes from 1:30 to 3. So we need to make sure that when you choose your OCC classes, you're leaving room for seminar. The Monday seminar is at Royal Oak. The Tuesday seminar is at Orchard Ridge. Wednesday is also at Orchard Ridge, again from 1:30 to 3. And then Thursday's seminar is at Auburn Hills. If we continue to enroll students, then we may add another seminar section, but we would not take one away. So when you're choosing your OCC classes, you want to make sure that you leave room to make it to seminar 1 time per week. And we can't, if there's an option for you to take a Royal Oak class on Monday that started at 2:30, we would not be able to choose that class because you're in seminar until 3. What you could do, depending upon where you live, is maybe you want to go ahead and go to the Auburn Hills seminar instead because you want to lock in that Monday 2:30 class. So there is wiggle room with what seminar you take. Seminar is on your schedule that we share with your sending school counselor, and we recommend that they award 0.25 credit per semester for seminar because you're there 90 minutes per week participating in a state approved curriculum. So after you choose seminar, let's just in this example say we're going to go with the 1:30 to 3 Royal Oak seminar, then the classes you choose from OCC need to fit around that. Now, some students try and take their OCC classes right after high school ends. That's not a problem, and those options are out there. So maybe you're going to go to seminar, you're going to go to English 1510 twice a week. Maybe you're going to go to English 1510 once a week. And then you're going to schedule psychology. And so you're going to be, in this example, on campus 4 days. There are other students who are really trying to go to campus as few times as possible. So you might try what our students call stacking classes. So in this example, you'll see the student looked for either times that would work for them, or they took an online class. Sometimes this happens when students are anticipating being in a club or job or sport that they know are going to demand a lot of time, such as robotics or marching band. And they might use this kind of stacking and or taking online classes in order to manage that more busy time in their schedule. So I highly, highly, highly encourage you to use some kind of scheduling tool in order to make sure that everything that you're wanting to do and those OCC classes that you choose will fit into your schedule next year in the fall. It's only this one time that you're scheduling kind of by yourself without the guidance of Oakland ACE staff, because the rest of the times you'll be doing this in seminar, which is really great. You'll have the guidance of Ms. Young. So if you do need to make a scheduling change, what you'll do is complete this registration adjustment request form. OCC does require that all of our early college students use this form for all 3 years. So when you have your initial required counseling appointment, your counselor will work with you on the classes that they think that you should take and suggest some courses that might work with your schedule. So the more you know about your schedule, the better, because that will really help them be able to look classes up during your counseling session if you have time. So what you're going to do with your counselor is select the courses, and you and your counselor are going to put them under the register and add portion of this form. You're going to date and sign it, and then you're going to email this form to me. I also sign it and record it in our system called MyStar so that your sending school counselor can see your schedule. And then I send this form into OCC enrollment, and then they enroll you in your classes. So as soon as you know you need to make a schedule change, we need to fill out these forms and get them turned in and signed and turned in, so that we can make sure to get you in the classes that you most want to take. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can go to OCC's website really quickly. Just want to show you, let's say you've already signed up for your fall courses and you decide that you want to change one of them. Maybe you get a job and suddenly, you definitely want to make sure that you have the 2 days a week that your new boss wants you to work open. So you want to change your schedule. No problem. We still have time to do it. I just want to show you where you would look in order to figure out how to change your schedule. So students, you do have access to a very powerful tool inside my OCC. It's the scheduling tool. Inside there, you can choose classes, and it will drop them into a calendar so that you can see where things overlap and what day of the week and the times they fall. So you're not actually scheduling in there, but you're kind of just seeing how things would fit in your schedule. If you want to look up actual classes that are available to you, start on OCC's website, go to academics, schedule of classes. And then once you're here, you're going to search for the class that you're interested in taking. And students search all kinds of different ways. So many of our students will take English 1510, for example. And we want to make sure that we're looking in the fall. And let's say you know that your ideal location to take classes, because it's closest to your home or closest to where your parents work, and that might be your ride. So narrow it down to the campus that you want. that you may want to take the class at. And then we'll look for English 1510 again. And it took out our selections. So sorry about that. Sometimes that happens, and we want to make sure that we're in the fall. So now we'll look for available sections. And you can see here, fall 2024, ensure that it's for fall. This class is English or Composition 1, 1510 is the section number. So when you take a look at, just pop this up really quick. I'm sorry, the course code, it would be ENG 1510. And then this is where you find your section number. So A stands for Auburn Hills, H for Highland Lakes, S for Southfield, R for Royal Oak. And then 1-2 means it's a 12-week class. So we do encourage our students to take 15-week classes when at all possible. If 15-week classes are not fitting into your schedule, you can sign up for a 12-week class. You have to be super mindful of the start and end dates. And unfortunately, we have had students who didn't pick up on when that class was starting or ending. And if the first week of the class goes by and you don't attend or have activity in your online class, you earn something called an N, which means non-attendance, and it does count negatively towards your OCC transcript situation. And most high schools will count that as an F on your high school transcript. So if you're signing up for a shorter course, we just need to be super careful about when that course starts. And then also know that a shorter course does not mean that OCC staff are removing content. It's the same amount of content, it's just in a shorter number of weeks. So just think about yourself as a student and if you would be okay with that. So as you're looking at the schedule of courses, you can see here, for example, I'm going to just highlight this class right here, English 1510. Here's the A means Auburn Hills, 15 weeks. There are 15 seats left in the course. Great. So that means there's room for you. It meets on Thursdays from 6 to 7:20. And then it keeps going from 7:30 to 8:50. It's in person. So these are the different kinds of options that you're going to see when you are looking for classes. If you're interested for any reason on taking an online class, then you can filter for online. And we only can sign up for open sections. We don't use the wait list at Oakland ACE because that process with signing and sending this form in takes so long. By the time we get that done, the wait list sections seats are already taken. So we're not allowed to use the wait list option. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. That is just one way that you can look up your courses. Again, students in my OCC, you have that great scheduling tool. So please feel free to use that if that's what you prefer. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Sorry about the pause here. So one of the things that we use as a communication tool throughout the school year is Remind. We'll use Remind anytime we have a snow day or we want to just give a quick reminder about a room location or any type of change. I highly, highly encourage all of our students and parents to sign up for this. We will not market or send you any solicitations. This is strictly for Oakland ACE information. So that's one thing that would be great if all of you could sign up for. The next item is asking students to join our Google Classroom. So each of you has an Oakland ACE email, and I sent that to you through the email that you originally enrolled with Oakland ACE with. And it's a username or an email address at oaklandace.org. And then the password is with that. I sent it in an encrypted email using Virtru, so it'll be a little bit different than what you're used to opening. But please sign into Google with that and then join our Google Classroom. This space will be used from now until you join Seminar in late August, and then you'll switch over to your Seminar Google Classroom. Right now, I'm posting basic information and a couple of updates from OCC, but it's a great space for students also to start introducing themselves and networking, especially if you're looking to share rides or anything like that. The next thing that we're going to have you do is tentatively select your seminar section. So this is a Google form. You can either use a QR code or you can follow that hyperlink. I've emailed you all this presentation too, if the form is easier just to click on that hyperlink. And just tentatively let us know what seminar you are considering being your main seminar for the fall. You're only committing, well, you're not even committing, you're just giving us a rough idea for the fall. So you can edit your response if something changes over the summer and that seminar no longer works for you. But this will also help us know what size classroom to reserve. So the more we can narrow down who's going to be in what seminar, the better. The next item of business is we have a required orientation in August. And so I'd like you to let us know which orientation date you think you're going to choose at this time. Again, this will help us reserve an appropriate space and get enough students to come help us with the student panel portion in proportion to the number of students who are attending. And then there's also information on here for you to select any type of dietary restrictions you might have for lunch. So orientation is from 8:30 to 3. There are 4 different dates and locations. You do not have to choose the location which you will be attending seminar or taking most of your classes. Just choose a location that works and date that works best for your schedule. And next, we're to our required paperwork. So you hopefully received an actual packet of mail with a folder with your acceptance letter and some paperwork in there. This paperwork is required. A couple of them are optional, but I'll talk to you about the required one first here. That's the big one. It's our Oakland ACE parent guardian agreement. So this is where you are acknowledging that ACE Early Middle College is a 3-year program. You're participating in all 3 years, and that if you withdraw or fail a class, your district may choose to have us recapture the cost of that. It doesn't happen very often, but if it were to happen, we work with your district and ask them, we were well aware of this happening or that it might happen. Here's the situation. Would you like the student to reimburse the district? And then they'll let us know yes or no. Many times this is not a surprise, and our whole team and the family and counselors have been working together to make sure that this doesn't happen. But if we ultimately get to that spot where the student has to withdraw or does not pass a class, then your district can ask us to reclaim the cost of the class for you. So if you could sign where it asks you to sign and then take a picture and send it to Ms. Mason, our Oakland ACE project assistant, that's the way we're going to return our forms for this evening. The next set of forms are things for Oakland schools. So the one on the left and the one in the middle are optional. What they allow us to do are we lots of times have really great opportunities for photographers to come in and take pictures of you in seminar, to use pictures and likenesses of the things that you create in seminar, especially your MEMCA presentations and your portfolios. So this is what we're asking for in these 2 forms. One is the use of your likeness and your work. So likeness is like a picture of you in seminar, collaborating with other students. We give you plenty of warning, so maybe to wear something that you want to show up in pictures that day. But if you don't want to do these 2 forms, no problem, just don't fill them out. And if we do any of these types of photography opportunities, we'll just arrange things so that you're not in the pictures and we won't use your work likenesses. The thing that's very important on this slide in particular is your emergency contact information. Yes, when you enrolled in the program through MyStar, you did put emergency contact information. That's great. We still have that. This form gets into more detail and will be taken to seminar with Miss DeYoung, kept private, of course, but she will have this form there in case she has to work with you on any type of medical emergency issue while you're on campus at seminar. So please complete that, take pictures, and send them to Mrs. Mason. Paperwork from OCC, these are all required by OCC. I check regularly, annually to ensure that we still need to collect all of these, and their legal department answer from OCC is yes, all of these are required. So there are 3 forms from them: the minor student under the age of 18, assumption of risk, authorization to release student information, and minor student parental legal guardian medical release. So please complete these and take pictures of all 3 of them and send them to Mrs. Mason. Finally, many of you have completed this form, but if you have not had the chance to complete it yet, I ask that you please take a moment to do so. Mrs. Mason sends this to you through email right when you enroll. because we actually need this form on file in order for me to schedule your classes with OCC. This form is signed by the student, and it allows me to schedule your classes, to communicate with your professors, to act on your behalf if we're trying to work out a grade discrepancy or get you extra time on an assignment. In rare occasions, it's used when a student has an unexpected medical situation and can't communicate with their professor, and then I step in and work out a solution. But no OCC staff will talk with me about you if this form is not on file. So we do need this form. If you don't have it, please email Mrs. Mason to get it. And if you haven't turned it in yet, please complete that form that she sent you and send it back to her. All right. A couple of things that I didn't have slides for. I just want to make sure that I include as part of the presentation. Just to let you know, all of those of you who have scheduled, your class selections are in MyStar. That's the online tool I use to communicate with your sending school counselors. So your sending school counselor logs into MyStar, they can see your classes, eventually they'll see your grades, they can see all of your documents. They'll upload your transcripts there eventually for me to see your transcripts through 10th grade. So I've also emailed them to let them know where we're at in the scheduling process. And if they have any questions, to please reach out so I can work with them. And several of them have. Lots of the questions are about what should be on your schedule your junior year at your sending school. It's all very different based on each student and the school district and what they require for graduation. So lots of times our 11th grade students will take math at their sending school. If you're not through Algebra 2, you definitely need to take that your junior year. And we have a couple of students who are taking the 2-year Algebra 2, no problem. We just want to make sure that you're through Algebra 2 curriculum before you start OCC math, and we have a plan for that. And then any other graduation requirements that you need to take still, you should take during those first 3 hours of high school. One of the question areas we get asked about is English 11. Many schools require you to take English 11 at your high school. And we have a lot of students, almost all of you are in English 1510, that composition 1. They are different classes. We have a handful of schools that allow composition 1 to count as English 11, and that can happen if your sending school is okay with it. But composition 1 at OCC is writing heavy. It's a prerequisite for a lot of classes, and it really helps our students do very well on the writing portion of some of the standardized tests you'll take. So we'd like you to double up if you can. Most districts want you to take both, but if this is a question for your counselor at all, please have them reach out to me so that I can work with them and make sure that they don't feel like they don't have any of their questions answered. So with that being said, I want to just let you know that myself, the rest of our staff, we do work throughout the summer. We're happy to help and support you in any way, anything that might come up throughout the summer. Please reach out and we'd be happy to assist. And of course, through the rest of the school year, we're obviously here too. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. And I really look forward to working with this group of students and families in the upcoming years. Have a great night.